Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Please ignore my hair. It is a crazy mix of lavender, blonde, gray, and several other colors. I need to dye it or tone it or do something to it, but for now, just ignore it. Today's video is going to be a review of this Real Techniques Ultimate Base Set. Yesterday I went down to Ulta just looking for the Miracle Complexion Sponge, and I ended up finding this, and I thought it would be a great deal to purchase. It was $19.99, and it contains these 4 pieces. As you can tell, I already used mine. I just filmed this video, and I also tried it out yesterday. You'll hear more about that in the video. Without further ado, let's get into it. Before I get into testing the products, I wanted to kind of go over an overview of what comes in the package. So you get 4 things: the Expert Face Brush, an exclusive concealer brush, the Miracle Complexion Sponge, and also a base kind of holder for the sponge. Now this cost me $19.99 in Ulta, and individually at Ulta, the sponge retails for $6.99 and the Expert Face Brush retails for $8.99, so $7 and $9 respectively. And also this exclusive concealer brush is obviously exclusive, so this is the only place you can get it. They have another concealer brush that retails for $8 at Ulta, and some other smaller brushes that retail for $4. So anywhere in that price range is what you can expect it to go for individually. And of course you also get this awesome little brush holder, which is great for letting your blender dry after you use it wet. If you add it all up, you're basically saving anywhere between $5 and $6. That's a pretty great deal if you're going to purchase these separately anyways. You might as well get it all together and get a few extra goodies. Mine look a little bit dirty because I tried it out yesterday before I decided to film this review. However, I tried it with a new foundation too, and I'm thinking it was the foundation. I did not like the way the sponge applied it, but the brush did much better. So I'm going to give it another try today with a foundation I know looks great using either a beauty blender or a foundation brush, and I'm hoping that I'll get some better results with the sponge today. So let's get into trying it out. So instead of just testing out the Expert Face Brush and the Miracle Complexion Sponge on their own, I decided I'm also going to compare it to the cult favorite beauty blender. I mean, this doesn't have to be your standard of makeup sponges, but I figure since a lot of people use this, it's a great comparison, especially considering this retails for $18, I think, and you get this entire set for $20. Adding $2 on and getting 4 products compared to 1, especially if they work just as great, I think is a huge steal. So I figured that would be a really great comparison for this video. The way I'm going to do with my face is going to be a little weird. I'm going to take these sponges on either side of my cheek and use the brush on my forehead. It's gonna be a weird array, but it's all skin. I apply it all the same across my face, so I'm hoping that will work and we can see how everything applies. So I didn't apply any primer today. I typically aim toward not wearing primer, but I did apply my normal moisturizer. To test out the products today, I'm going to be taking my e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation in the shade Porcelain. I use this foundation almost every day. I love it. I have a combination oily skin. It's veering more toward combination right now, more like normal right now since it's winter and my skin is getting dry, especially around the edges, but I still get super oily on my nose and my forehead. Just as a kind of reference for how this foundation looks on me. On this side of my face, I'm going to use the Beauty Blender. So of course, I'm loving the coverage of the Beauty Blender that it's applying so far. I found this foundation is pretty buildable. You could have like a pretty light to medium coverage, but you could build it up to be almost full coverage. It provides a very like naturally flawless look. So this is the application of the Beauty Blender. Again, really easy, really smooth. Next, I'm going to go in with the Miracle Complexion Sponge and apply it to this side of my face. Oh, I think I got too much foundation. I'll just put it up there for now. I feel like this sponge is a lot softer than the Beauty Blender, and it soaks up the water that I use to dampen it a lot better than the Beauty Blender. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I think kind of just depends on how you like your sponge. And I do find that it picks up the product after you've applied it, and it won't let it stick to your skin. As you can see, there's a huge red patch right here that I didn't get with the Beauty Blender. And I had this problem with the foundation I used yesterday. It's the Revlon Color Stay Combination Oily to Oily Skin. And I'm now wondering if it's the sponge that's having the problem. Kind of shows up patchy and it's kind of moving product around. I'm going to try another layer of foundation to see if I can try and build it up. So in the end, I think adding another layer on was kind of helpful. I can't really see much of a difference between the finish of the two sides. I do think that the application with the Beauty Blender was faster and easier, but in the end, there's not really a difference between the two. And with the price, this retailing anywhere from $5 to $7, depending on where you buy it, I think it's definitely worth it. Excuse the dots of foundation on my face. Now I'm going to go in with the Expert Face Brush and put foundation on my forehead. And like I said earlier, I found that the Revlon Color Stay foundation went on a lot better using this brush than the sponge. I felt like it was just, the sponge was picking up the product and moving it around and it wasn't allowing it to stick to the face. I just really love the coverage this brush provides. I feel like even this foundation with one layer, normally I have to build it up to get it to full coverage, but it's making it look really nice really quickly. Next, to test out this concealer brush, I'm going to use my current favorite concealer, the Maybelline Super Stay Better Skin Concealer in the shade Ivory. And I'm going to use this to conceal under my eyes and test out this brush. I would almost prefer a slightly larger brush, and they say it's denser than their other concealer brush, or it's at least dense, and I don't really find that. The bristles toward the end are a little bit more fluffy, like you could almost use this in your crease if it wasn't so large, but I still feel like it's providing a really nice coverage and blending it out well. I just wish it wasn't so small. So I feel like this brush did its job. It's not my favorite. I would much rather prefer going in with a sponge and really quickly just getting under the eyes. So while I'm at it, I might try and build up the coverage a little more, comparing the Beauty Blender and the Real Techniques sponge. I'm going to try to make this not look cakey, but I'm going to apply a little bit more of this concealer. See how the makeup sponges do blending it out. So I'm taking the Beauty Blender on this side. And the Real Techniques sponge on this side. Again, the makeup sponges are way quicker than using a brush. Brush provided nice coverage, but on the daily, I'm probably definitely going to opt for a sponge over a brush under the eye. That being said, I think you could still use that brush for maybe spot concealing on like a small red patch on your skin or any blemishes or scars you need to cover up. I think it would be perfect for that. I'm gonna finish up my makeup and then I'll give you guys my final thoughts on this product. I am back with my final thoughts on these 4 Real Techniques products that come in the Ultimate Base Set. I really love the Expert Face Brush. I think it's probably my favorite product of the bunch. It has the perfect density, perfect size. It's great for building up the coverage of the e.l.f. Flawless Finish foundation that I used. And like I said, it also worked really well with the Revlon Color Stay foundation. I am definitely going to keep using this and add it to my brush collection. The concealer brush wasn't my favorite part of this. It worked well. It wasn't the most efficient and best way of applying concealer. Like I said, I would much rather go with some kind of sponge to make the application much easier. And the Miracle Complexion Sponge and its little stand, the stand is awesome. I used it yesterday after I tried it with the Revlon foundation, and it's actually really great for letting it dry out and without letting it sit and like get the rest of your products wet or dirty with foundation. But the sponge itself, I'm like torn on how to feel about this. It worked and I liked it. I still think the Beauty Blender is a little bit better, but for the price, I really think you can't beat it. Like I said, I had those problems where I would apply it and it would look fine, but if I tried to keep blending it out, it would pick up the foundation. And what I had just worked on covering was now not covered in foundation, and you could see red patches coming through. And you do not want that when trying to apply foundation to cover that up. I would just be wary with building up coverage with this sponge. Definitely wouldn't do the same job as the Beauty Blender or the Expert Face Brush. But again, it does the job and it works. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any other products you'd like me to try out, please suggest them down below. Also, don't forget to leave requests. I love to hear them. With that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.